Okay, Diggle, are you ready?
Diggle's ready.
Are you ready, kids?
I'm ready.
Aye, Captain. Welcome back. I almost said welcome back to Barely D&D. That's my other podcast. And Diggle's gone.
He's gone. The moment we start talking, he's like, nope, I wanted to sleep.
Welcome back to Dumpster Diving, the podcast. I'm your host, Jackie.
And I'm Joe.
And we are... I don't know what I was going with that. What
we are.
Isn't that something we used to do? Like, I'm so-and-so, and I'm so-and-so, and we are... I don't know what.
I wanted to say Jagged Rose.
I did too. Which is the name of the band I was in. Welcome back to episode 2 of Dumpster Diving.
The podcast.
The podcast. As you can see, we're very professional here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our first episode last week. I appreciate all of the kind messages we got and everything. I'm very excited for this podcast, and hopefully it'll only get better. I ran into some issues with how I exported the audio last time, and it did me dirty on the editing. Yeah. So I hope it was okay for everyone. But I think I got it situated. But we'll see. Who knows?
It'll be better.
Yeah,
it will be better.
So I think without further ado, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a little comment on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, any of that.
I want to address this real quick, quick.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube.
I don't even know if I'm looking at our playback camera, and I don't even know if you can see it because of the microphone.
Okay, good. Well, I have a patch here on my face. It's because I had just a small skin cancer removed, nothing serious, but I've got to keep it patched. It's got a derma patch on it, and I can't leave it, so it's there. That's what it is. So don't.
You could have just told,
no big deal.
Yeah, you could have just told people it was like a really cool. I don't know what a cool scar is, honestly. But yeah, no. But yes, without further ado, I guess we're ready to dive in. I'm not, because I don't have my iPad open.
I don't even know what the topic is this week.
That's
you didn't
right.
tell me.
I didn't tell her, and I didn't tell you guys. So my mother and I, her over there, we're in a phase right now where we are watching a crap load of reality TV.
And we've always hated reality TV. That's the weird thing.
I've been a staunch. If you've followed me along before, you know, and I've no hate against it. I'm not like, it's not a hate thing.
Wrong
it's
word.
just I've always been like a staunch. Well, not really the wrong word, because we do, like, if I'm being honest, I kind of hate watch what we're watching now even.
Yeah.
But I've always been, like, very staunchly against watching reality TV, mostly because I myself have been on reality TV a little bit. And once you see, like, behind the curtain, you realize all the things that are kind of crazy about reality TV. And yeah, a lot of it, spoiler alert, a lot of reality TV is not reality. I was on, I guess a lot of people would be like, that's not reality TV when I tell you what it was. I was on American Idol about 8 years ago now, 9 years ago.
8 or 9.
I was on the final season of the original. So the one that was on, what was it, Fox? The Fox network, I think?
Yes.
And, before it moved to ABC and all that and like rebooted, I was on the final season of the original American Idol, and yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. I would not trade it for the world, but there's a lot that goes into reality TV that people don't realize.
Yeah.
I'm like, has the NDA been long enough? Can I talk about it?
Actually, I think you have a year to go.
We got a year to go. And then
So.
the podcast will turn into a tell-all. No, it was great. And I met a lot of people on there that are still lifelong friends. And I mean contestants and people that worked on the show.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with reality TV. You don't realize how many people work behind the scenes to make a show run correctly. So many producers, so many PAs, so many, just like hundreds of people working behind the scenes. A lot of times thousands of people. But fun little fact about reality TV, a lot of it's not real. It may not be it may not be scripted, but it's still a little scripted.
Yeah. And probably American Idol probably is more real than some of the other stuff we watch.
Because it is like
it's a competition.
A talent competition show, right? But yeah. I've known people on reality TV, especially when you live in Los Angeles for a while, you end up like knowing. Everyone in LA has probably been to one party where there was someone from one of like the main reality TV shows, whether it's like Survivor, Big Brother, one of the Bachelors. Like every party you go to, there was someone from one of those franchises there.
Yeah,
and everyone that I've met from there have all been really nice people. But yeah, it's a very different world. It takes. A lot of people think, oh, reality TV, like it's not like acting and there's no like talent to it, but there is. Like you gotta be strong, man. At the end of American Idol, and I've heard this about all reality TV, whether it's like a talent competition or not, you don't get sleep on these shows.
No.
At the end of American Idol, I broke down in tears, not because I didn't I got cut, but because I think within all of 1 week, I had like a total of like 6 or 7 hours of sleep in like 7 days. And I've heard that a lot of it's like that.
Yeah.
They get you up at the crack of dawn and they, you go to bed at the crack of dawn.
Yeah. At 5 a.m.
And I think part of that is probably to keep emotions on high so that they can get good drama-filled stuff, because no one wants to watch a reality show without a lot of drama. What's the point? But even if it's not scripted, I do believe that producers sometimes, and depending on the show, so don't come at me being like, no, I worked on this show, but depending on the show, I think a lot of times producers might steer contestants or participants of the show like in a certain direction, try to steer it. It may not be perfectly scripted, like, okay, this person's gonna for sure win, but there may be pathways they try to steer the direction of the show in. But anyway,
yeah, we got off on a tangent there,
but that's reality TV. We've been watching the Traitors a lot, which is amazing. And we've watched now all 3 seasons of the Traitors US, 1 season of the Traitors UK, and we're on Traitors Australia. Which I was on, funny story. I was on the Traitors Reddit, and I didn't get a spoiler for the Australia, but everyone is saying the ending to the season we're watching of Australia is the best ending of any Traitors across the board, which I didn't realize how many Traitors there were. We also watched Deal or No Deal Island. We tried to watch some like really old, like original Survivor and Big Brother. Reality TV has changed so much now because we want like such quick media, like quick things. I feel like there's such a perfect format to like the Traitors of like, okay, there's a mission, there's a round table, someone gets cut, and then it moves on. And with like these old seasons of like Survivor, they're just like someone's just sitting there like trying to fish for like half the episode. And like there's no cut to like confessional or anything. It's just like I don't know. It's like very much slow paced, but it was like 2005. Yeah. I don't know.
And we've said we're going to go back and watch a new one so that we can see the difference. I'm sure there's a world of difference.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any of the new seasons of Survivor. When
But I'm so glad that you said that this one has a good ending because the last one we watched, we hated the ending.
Yeah, we didn't like the ending to, what was it, season 2 of the Traders UK? I think it was
I don't
season
remember
2
what
or
season
season
it
3.
was,
I don't
but
remember what season it was. Yeah, I didn't like it. I wasn't happy with the outcome. Um, but yeah, give us your reality TV Rex.
Giggles.
Diggle wants to know. Yeah, well, when I was though, the last thing I was gonna say is we watched Survivor when it first came out, and I remember when I was young, when I was little, one of my favorite shows on TV, I think I even wrote a paper on it, was Fear Factor,
Oh, yeah.
which, I mean, Joe Rogan, but it was a good show nonetheless.
We really liked Fear Factor.
Fear Factor was so good.
Yeah.
My thing is like I would be able to do all the stuff on Fear Factor except the bugs.
Yeah.
You give me snakes. I'll take snakes. Do not no bugs. Give me heights. Give me jumping from a building. No bugs.
Well, that and for me, enclosed spaces.
The enclosed spaces I think I could do if I know I'm going to win money for it.
Right. But one of the traders we watched, they literally put them in coffins.
Yeah.
And no. You're not putting me in a coffin. I couldn't do that.
So, as I said, today's theme is reality shows. And by reality shows, we're going into I found some interesting ones. I haven't read through these. Like, I haven't in-depthly read through any of these. So any surprises are going to be for both of us.
Okay.
But I have some fun ones here. I think they're going to be good. But they're definitely, they all have something to do with reality TV. Okay. So where should we start? I think I'm going to start with this one because we were talking about American Idol.
Okay.
So this is 2 years old. I have a few in here that are newer.
Okay.
But this is from 2 years ago. It has been settled of whether or not they were the asshole or not. Oops. Comes from the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? And it is, am I the asshole for telling my daughter she is a bad singer and won't let her be in a singing competition?
Ooh.
I know how this looks, but please hear me out. Also, this is a throwaway account. My daughter Layla is going to be a junior next year, and ever since she was little, she loved watching shows like American Idol, The Voice, etc., and dreams of being a famous singer. While I think it's all well and good to sing as a hobby, she is simply not good at music. Ooh. Layla has a rather high-pitched voice, kind of like a cartoon or young toddler, and when she sings, it sounds like nails on a chalkboard. And I'm certain she's tone deaf because she insists her voice is not high at all. I know that's awful as a mom to say, but it's true. We even hired a vocal coach before COVID, and the lady outright told me she felt guilty about taking my money because she simply has no musical talent in her words. This is so sad. She loves to sing at family events, and it always results in chuckles at best or insults at worst from younger kids. She's always kept her head up, though, and never let these comments get to her, which I admire a lot, but I wish she had more realistic adult plans by now. Layla's grades have been struggling for years, mostly D's, and we argue about it all the time. Her excuse is always, I don't need to learn this because I will be a famous singer. This obsession has become a legitimate problem because she shoots down anything unrelated to singing when it comes to thinking about college or a job, which she also insists she will never need because she will one day become a world-famous singer. Today, I told her she should be looking for a summer job, and she again refused and said now that she's old enough, she wants to audition for a singing show, undecided on which. I know these shows, most of them will have a poor singer audition only to mock them on TV. I'm not letting that happen to Layla and told her I am no longer tolerating her obsession and that she needs to apply herself in other areas soon if she hopes to get any sort of career because she simply is not a good singer. She started bawling and calling me an abusive mother. I feel like an ass now, and I'm not sure if I should have handled this differently. Am I the asshole?
Oh, this
is hard.
Really hard.
The thing is like, that's so hard for me because I mean, I was a good student and all, but I was very one track minded about like, I knew from a very early age that I didn't want to go to college or anything because I was like, I'm going to be a musician or something in the entertainment business. The difference was is you like I started the band that I was in. We toured and everything starting at the age of like 13 for me. So I was like working on that career and like knowing like and seeing how people responded to my singing, my talent. I guess the question for what I want to ask you is, what if I had been all of that, but then couldn't sing? What would you and Dad have done?
I feel like we would have been trying to stir you in a different direction.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. It's hard to relate because that is so hard because
the only thing I can think of is like, I mean, because there are people, and I mean, this goes for anything. It doesn't have to be like a creative outlet.
Right.
I know we see it a lot more with creative talents is like people being kind of delusional that they can do something or not.
Right. I don't know. Mom may just have to let her fail.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
I understand. I think that she doesn't want her to be embarrassed because if she goes on audition, they very well could take that audition to use it to mock her.
But I mean, you see that, and you see those people on there that are delusional about their talent, and I mean, it sounds so horrible, but I'm like, maybe that's what they need.
I don't know if I could let that happen. So I see where this mom's coming from.
Yeah.
I would say, try to stir in a different direction of music, like playing an instrument but if she doesn't have musical talent, that kind of goes across the board, whether you're playing an instrument or anything.
If you're tone deaf.
Right, and you can't hear it. I don't know.
The thing is I would like to know more information. Like, as she said, she sung at like some family gatherings and stuff. I'm like, she's a junior in high school. I'm like, has she sung
in the
at
choir,
a talent show or in the choir? Like, has she ever had someone tell her, hey, I mean, I don't know. Cause I was about to be like, well, get her some lessons or like, I took classes at Berklee College of Music that summer, and like there's ways to train your ear, and like even if you don't have like an ear or whatever, if you're not Charlie Puth and you can't identify a note right away, there's classes. I mean, I have an ear and I can do that, but I was in classes with people that were learning how to do it. But I'm like, they got the fact that they got a vocal coach and the vocal coach was like, I feel bad taking your money. That makes me so sad. Like, and it makes me so sad too, because it's one of those things where it's like, I can't imagine loving something so much and then being like bad. Like that would be like, because like I'm a horrible like artist, so like drawing, and that would be like if I was like loved it so much and wanted to pursue that as a career, but it's like, you're not Picasso,
Yeah.
But I mean, she could enjoy it. She could go, even if you're not, Kelly Clarkson, she could get, I don't know, maybe she could become like a music teacher or... But well, even
it's hard to be a music
even if you're
teacher,
tone deaf, because then you're gonna be telling people.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe something else in a promoter
or like work at a concert venue or
but her
something.
thing may be that she loves being on stage. She loves.
Maybe she could be an actor on stage.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, here's some comments. The top comment is, well, you would be the asshole if your daughter wasn't so delusional. But if she still insists on auditioning for competitions, let her. She has to smell the coffee somehow, not the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks
Yeah.
that she's going to get embarrassed on national TV. Although, I mean, sometimes even then they're like, well, they just didn't appreciate my talent. Like,
Right. Well, and maybe they could, so she's not embarrassed on national TV. Maybe they could tell her, well, before you do that, you'll be nervous. It's that you need to get into some local competitions. And then, when she doesn't do well in the local competitions, maybe it'll finally dawn on her that she needs to pursue something else. That's so sad.
Someone said if she won't listen to her mother or her vocal teachers or the ruthless honesty of the family kids, maybe she'll listen if Simon Cowell tells her she's delusional.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. From what her mother says, I sincerely doubt she'll make it past the video submission to even stand in front of a judge. And that could be
true.
it, because they don't do as many of the crazy bad auditions. Kind of like what we were saying about the other reality shows. They've steered away from a lot of that because I think it is wrong to like make fun of people, obviously.
Yeah. When American Idol first came out, that was a big thing. But I haven't watched it in years, so I don't know. But I don't think they do much of that anymore. So maybe she just needs to let her send in her tape and.
Oh, that's also true. Someone said I can't remember any time they've humiliated a child. That's true. She's under 18, and I don't think... I mean, you can audition for American Idol under 18, but I don't remember a single one that they've made fun of that was under 18.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. So she needs to just let her do it.
Yeah.
She's going to have to get it out of her system, and that's sad that...
Someone else said, not the asshole. When I was young, 5 or 6, I wanted to be a singer, but my mother told me honestly that it would never happen since I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. No hard feelings. It saved me from embarrassment at best and heartbreak at worst if I had kept at it. Even today, I know I'm tone deaf, but I still sing in the car and stuff and have fun with it. There's nothing bad about a mother being honest about her child's talents.
This is very true. The sad thing to me is that it didn't start earlier, because the younger they are, the easier they'll take the criticism, I feel like. And now she's at those rough teenage years anyway, and mom's telling her, no, you can't sing, you don't, and she's not wanting to listen, and that could be just, it's an age thing. And I feel like if it had happened sooner and they could have stirred her in a different direction towards something she liked. But
someone said, I have perfect pitch, but my mother told me I can't sing because she didn't like my singing voice. I never had any ambitions beyond singing in the shower, and she killed or at least heavily sedated my love for music. There's honest, and then there's demolishing your child's self-esteem.
Well, that did cross my mind.
Yeah,
because
like, is she good?
Some people, maybe mom doesn't know music, but the fact that she took her to a vocal coach, and the vocal coach said that now. But that did cross my mind, because I know, some people's voices, some people just don't like. I know. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's like, I'm trying to think of something. That's like, I loved basketball as a kid. I'm 5'1". I am not. There was no way I was going to be a professional basketball player. And that's just something, if that had been, that would have just been something that I had to come to terms with.
Right.
Right. It's just something that you have or don't have. It's not something you can change, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't think mom's the asshole.
No.
If she's really... if she's telling the truth. I mean, there are parents that will stifle any kind of creative, like
I
singing.
I don't feel like that's the case here, though.
Right, I don't think so either. But there are parents that do that because they think they have to have a real job, which is, they want them to be a doctor or a lawyer, But I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
But she may just have to let her. Figure it out.
I don't know.
I'm sad. But I don't think
this was
asshole.
2 years ago, maybe. She went on a singing competition and she killed it. I don't know.
It may have.
Okay, next one. This one is, I have not read this one. I have only read the title. I don't know even where this is going. I do know the verdict though, so I'm anxious to see what it is. This comes from Am I the Asshole? And it is, am I the asshole for making my wedding cake a reality show? Do you have any give me any guesses of what you think this might be?
I don't know what that means. Her wedding cake was like decorated.
That's what I'm
cake?
picturing. I'm picturing like a bachelor, the rose over here, and like the Survivor logo over here, and a trader's mask down here.
Hey, if that's what she loves, more power to her.
I don't know about a wedding cake though. Well, you know what? Screw it.
Well, if it depends, maybe as a couple, that's what they love to do together, and maybe that's their thing.
I'm concerned. Okay, this is my prediction.
Okay,
that she wanted that for her wedding cake. The fiance did not. The
Mm.
partner was like, "What the hell? I don't want that."
Yeah.
Why are we? I want traditional. And then if that's the case, then that's a problem. Throwaway, because I don't want my fiance to find this.
Oh
no.
No. Okay, I'm already going to comment. If you can't agree on the cake, maybe you shouldn't get married.
Facts. Okay. I, 28 female, and am engaged to my fiance, 30 male. We both love fun, quirky things, and when planning our wedding, we decided we wanted to do something a bit out of the ordinary. I came up with the idea of making the cake the centerpiece of a mini reality show for our wedding. This is not at all what I thought.
No.
Basically, we would film a series of short clips leading up to the wedding where I'd try to bake the cake myself and document all the drama that ensued. I thought it would be hilarious, and my fiance initially agreed. After agreeing, I could tell he was hesitant to letting me do it, but I didn't really think anything of it. He has a big family and was worried they might take the whole thing too seriously. He kept saying things like, "What if my mom doesn't get the joke?" or "What if my grandma thinks it's disrespectful?" I assured him that our friends and family have a good sense of humor and that it would just be a lighthearted way to share our wedding planning experience. He told me he would prefer if I didn't make the video, but after I told him it would just be fun to look back on, he told me, okay, fine, whatever. I could tell he wasn't a fan of the idea. Excuse me. I could tell he wasn't a fan of the idea for whatever reason, but I really thought there was no harm and just wanted to have some fun. I went ahead and created a YouTube channel for the show. Oh, I want to find this YouTube channel. I started filming myself making the cake, talking to the camera like I was with Gordon Ramsay on a cooking show, and even pulling in some of my bridesmaids to join the competition. Last night at a dinner before our wedding this weekend, I decided to show a sneak peek of the series complete with clips of me almost setting the kitchen on fire and epically failing at cake decorating. Everyone was laughing, but my fiance looked increasingly uncomfortable as the video played. He finally stood up and said, "This isn't funny, it's embarrassing." My fiance has been upset ever since, saying I made our wedding planning a joke and that it's not how he envisioned things going. He told me that he made himself clear that he didn't want me to do it. I really thought I was all in good fun, though, and thought that him initially agreeing to it meant he should have just let me have fun. Now I'm wondering, am I the asshole?
I don't think he made it that clear.
I don't either.
I mean, if she is a reliable narrator, he kind of was, yeah, okay. And she didn't show it at the wedding. This was just an event before the wedding.
Well,
right?
I don't know. I'm like, okay, I need more info here because I'm like, well, first of all, I think that he thought it was going to be funny. Like, I have a feeling like it was one of those things. Maybe they were like at dinner, drinking wine, talking about their wedding planning. And we're like, oh my God, that would be so funny if we did that. And then when she was like starting to do it, he was like, I don't know about this anymore. And I don't know. To me, it seemed like it sounds like to me, like even in her narrating of him being like, you know, what if my mom doesn't get it? What if my grandmother doesn't get it? I feel like that's kind of his way of being like, Should we do this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
kind of not wanting to do this now.
Yeah.
I don't really think she's the asshole.
I don't
like,
think she's the asshole, but I don't
think she's maybe a little oblivious.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't understand. Is this going to go? Are they going to? She's still wanting to show this at the wedding. Did she really make the wedding cake? Because apparently she's
That's
not.
what I want to know.
She's not that good at decorating. Because I mean, she admitted that. I don't know.
Someone said, info needed. Are you still getting married this weekend? And she said, yes. Part of me just thinks this is the stress of the wedding coming down on us.
Could be.
And someone said, I think maybe don't show it at the wedding.
Yeah, that's the thing. She got to show it at a, and
yeah, I'm like, it's fun to like show your friends and stuff.
I don't think she's the asshole, but I think she needs to drop it now and move on and enjoy the wedding.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Let it. I think it is the stress of maybe the wedding. And
I was trying to see if there was anything else from the OP that like said any other information. Everyone in the comments is saying you're the asshole.
Oh, really?
Everyone. And the verdict was asshole.
Oh.
A lot of people are saying your fiance made it clear that he didn't like the idea, but you did it anyway. You won't be laughing when he divorces you. Like, people are being really mean. A lot of people are saying, like, it's both of your weddings, not just yours.
That's true.
I mean, I agree, but I don't know. I don't get that from her. Someone said you have main character syndrome. You're being insufferable.
Maybe. Maybe main character syndrome. I don't know.
Someone said, admit it, you weren't taking no for an answer. I kind of feel that. Someone said he expressed concern repeatedly after initially agreeing. That was kind of your cue to step back and reconsider.
Right.
I personally don't see why this video would be funny or cute. It sounds like an influencer or TikTok thing, but I'm old and more of a fan of sincere content. If you wanted to do something fun for yourself and friends, it would have been a better idea to make it about drama surrounding your dresses or making bouquets. Something that was specific to you that his family and other older guests wouldn't care about. The fact that it was the cake is the problem. You share that cake with not only your husband, but your guests.
It's true.
It sounds like you turned it into a prank, and it's not clear from your post if the cake turned out edible or if your guests would trust eating the cake after seeing it in your reality show. I personally wouldn't eat cake after watching a bunch of corny, contrived drama about it on YouTube, but that's just me.
Well, I think we need more information because that's the thing she doesn't say. Is that the cake they served at, or they're going to serve at the wedding?
I agree. I didn't even think of that. I kind of agree. Like, if I saw all that and like her like messing with it and all, I'd be like, I don't really want to eat that.
Yeah.
It's like that cooking show, Worst Cooks in America or whatever, and you're like, I don't want to eat that. Someone said, last comment here, you're the asshole. He's, in quotes, he told me he would prefer if I didn't make the video, and in quotes, okay, fine, whatever. I could tell he wasn't a fan of the idea for whatever reason. You fully knew he didn't want to do it, but you went ahead with it because you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
On one hand, I agree with that. On the other hand, this is where I said it once, I'll say it again. I support women's rights and wrongs. That's not necessarily her fault in that sense. Like, okay, you know, people are always saying to women, like, well, I can't be a mind reader. Well, she can't be a mind reader.
Right.
Yes, he is kind of saying it like that, maybe to not hurt her feelings. But if he really didn't want this, then he should have spoken up and talked with her, communicated with her. I feel like maybe because a lot of men are like this, I'm just saying, didn't want, not all men, but a lot of men is like, I don't want the confrontation. I don't want the conflict. So I'm just going to try to be like, yeah, fine, whatever, and see if she gets it. Instead of being like, hey, honey, like, this is cool and all, but can we do like a normal cake for the wedding? Like, we can do this for us. But I don't want to, like, I don't know, you know, like the wedding, my family, you know, maybe some of his family's paying for it or something like that. I don't know. Right. And like, I don't want them to see this. Like, I don't know. He should have he should have communicated better.
Keyword there, communication.
Communication on both sides. Like,
On both
yeah,
sides.
she should have understood that, like, he was not feeling it. But also, if he really wasn't feeling it, instead of, like, not coming out and saying that he didn't want this, and then when she showed the video, like, blowing up and being like, this is embarrassing. Like, he should have come to her and, like, sat down and been like, hey, let's do maybe let's do the reality show thing, but, like, it's a funny video just for us about, like, our honeymoon or something.
Right.
You know, yeah. Communication.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
So we didn't have an update on the
No
wedding cake.
update.
Dadgum. I like updates.
I want one with an update. I'm, like,
I
looking
know,
for
yeah.
updates, and, like, none of them are updates. Okay, here's one. This I don't know what this is either. There's not an update on here, and there's not that many comments, so this is interesting. It's in Am I the Asshole, but it literally, instead of, like, saying Am I the Asshole, it literally just says reality TV stars ...
Okay.
Okay, first post ever, so please bear with me. I live and work in Southern California. So naturally, there are quite a few people that are or used to be in the industry, especially reality TV. I absolutely get that anyone on TV is a real person and would never interrupt any person during, like, a personal moment or anything. That being said, I'm a reality TV fan, even a super fan of certain franchises. I had someone come into my place of work the other day, and I recognized them from one of my favorite survival shows. Ooh. The season they were in aired like 15 years ago, but it is definitely a popular season due to the cast. So this person had definitely moved on with their life and had a different profession that indeed brought them to my place of work that day. I recognized them and did ask towards the end of the interaction if they had been on the show. They were a bit taken aback and called me one of those weirdos, but with a friendly attitude, and did provide some fun anecdotes about their time on the show. Here's the thing. Am I the asshole, or maybe am I the weirdo for bringing it up since it was...
Okay.
For bringing it up since it was such a long time ago, and this person is obviously just back in normal life doing their thing. So first of all, this is what I was saying. When you live in Southern California, Los Angeles, I mean, not only, like, a lot of people think, like, oh, it's just, like, actors and actresses, but you probably run into more, like, reality TV stars than anything. So I can see this. I don't think you're the asshole.
This is my thing. You're calling that person a weirdo because they're a fan.
Yeah.
You were the person on the reality show. So what does that make you? I get that TV stars and famous people get bugged to death. I know, you know, we've always been very careful about that because you lived in LA and I've spent a lot of time there, and we have seen.
Most of the time I won't go up to people. One of the main ones I went up to was Louis from One Direction, just because it was so cool. But I didn't even post the picture until later because I knew, like, One Direction people would, like, figure out his location and all. But
right.
I know there's been a lot of talk about this lately too in media, like, especially with, like, Chapel Roan and all, being like, people shouldn't come out to me and all. I think if she's telling the truth, if she's a reliable narrator. Okay, I had to let the dog in. So if my position has changed. Hello. So if the narrator is telling the truth about how they went about it, I don't think it was rude or weird at all. From what this is, they didn't even ask for a picture or anything. No. Which, like, that's a big thing to me, is, like, them asking for a picture if, you know, they feel like, you know, I'm not a part of that anymore. Right. But I'm like,
and you can tell she was hurt by that. Mm-hmm. But maybe he was just taken aback, or he or she was taken aback because it had been so long since anyone had recognized him. And maybe that was just, you know, sometimes how you choose a word and you realize later, you know, maybe he or she did not mean weirdo. It just came out. And then who knows? They might, I can relate to this myself later, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to say that."
Yeah.
But she was a super fan, so that really hurt.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think they went about it
But
as
I don't think she was
respectful as could
yeah.
be. They waited till the end and everything
Right.
to be like, "Hey, were you on this show?" You
Yeah.
know.
And if it really bothers them that much, they've moved on and they maybe don't like that they did that or whatever, then they just need to learn to say, "No, wasn't me."
Yeah.
Lie, you know.
Someone said you're the asshole for this pointless post. I don't think that's rude.
That is rude.
Sometimes we all just need some reassuring, okay? Someone said, what does it matter? You asked and they answered. You didn't ask them for an autograph or take a picture, right? You didn't stalk them. You just asked a question. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Like,
yeah.
I'm a very big believer in like giving people space, and like I said, with all that's going on with Chapel Roan recently and stuff like that, I can see it's very much like, you know, no one owes you anything, but
Right.
in this case, you did everything right. From my standpoint.
I think so. And like I said, they don't call them a weirdo if you were the one that was on the show. But maybe, like I said too, maybe they didn't really mean that. That was just maybe a poor choice of words. She did say that they said it, like laughingly,
Yeah.
or something like that. So, but I understand. You know how super fans can be, and
they
she
were
was
hurt.
hurt.
They were a
by
bit
that.
taken aback and called me one of those weirdos, but with a friendly attitude.
So
Yeah.
she's
Someone said this: if this was a professional environment, I get why the person was irritated. I hope you did not ask in front of his colleagues or business partners. I don't know what kind of work they do.
Yeah.
See, I was picturing like they came into a coffee shop.
right.
But I'm thinking that maybe it was a little more than that. Like maybe it was like an office type situation. I don't know. They said also, though, that being said, if one partakes in these kind of shows, being a public figure and gets exposed is what you sign up for. On the off chance of that, this person did put an edit that said that and said, although thinking about it, the reality show game was much more innocent 15 years ago. My cousin was in a reality show 20 years ago just for the sake of doing what was on the show with no plan to become famous. That is a rather new phenomenon. That's true. Because 20 years ago, people would go on Fear Factor or Survivor or whatever to most of the time to like do the show, to have the experience, or to win the money, which is still the case nowadays. But there is a whole genre of reality TV and genre of people that reality TV is a stepping stone to other opportunities in the entertainment business.
Right. Well, and reality TV stars now it's kind of like saying you're an actor or saying you're an influencer or a singer. You're a reality TV star, and they go on multiple
exactly
shows.
Just like the Traders US, like
right.
That's filled with former like famous people from other reality
Right.
TV shows. So, but I can see that 20 years ago not being the case.
Yeah. I think weirdo was just a poor choice of
yeah,
words.
I think maybe they just didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, like, is that the name of, like, if you're a super fan of Survivor? They're called the weirdos. Like, what is it? Bachelor Nation is the Bachelor or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, this one was 4 days ago.
Oh, no.
And I am so excited for this one because I feel like we're going to have a lot to say about this one because I feel like maybe we've experienced some of this.
4 days ago, we're not going to have an update.
We are not going to have an update. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Am I the asshole for standing up for myself after a friend, in quotation marks, with reality TV fame tried to make me look like the problem? Someone I thought was a friend, she has minor reality TV fame, is portraying me as the reason her business didn't go anywhere. And I'm wondering if I was wrong to speak up. We were introduced through a mutual contact because of my background in consumer goods. She had a business idea and wanted help. I made several suggestions, all based on experience, but she shot every single one down. Then she sold half the business to a 26-year-old hairdresser who's dating a wealthy 60-year-old. This new partner has zero experience in consumer goods. Their big idea, go to a trade show, except none of them have ever even done one of those before. She was going to attend the show, but can't, and asked if I could go to the show. I said yes and offered a very reasonable rate. Anyone who's done trade shows knows they're exhausting and not just 8-hour commitments. We know that.
Yes, we do.
Then she tells me she met a salesperson at a luxury goods store she wants to bring in because I lack follow-up skills. FYI, I have 2 degrees from top-tier schools and Ivy. This from someone who's never worked a day in her life and married into money. Nothing wrong with that. Next, she tells me a story about how she once offered half the business to someone for free just to get them to help, and they still didn't do anything. I realized she was talking about me. Except, she never made that offer. She didn't agree with any of my recommendations. She refused to send me product samples or materials. She told me she didn't want to spend any time on the business because she's focusing on something else now. I finally said to her that I didn't appreciate being portrayed that way, that she was never clear with me about her expectations, and that she actively disagreed with the things I suggested. Her response, that she didn't want me to ask questions, just wanted me to do it. And then said for no reason at all, it's not the 26-year-old, 60-year-old's fault as they live in high-end luxury lifestyle. 26-year-old apparently going to get plastic surgery, so she isn't available for the show. She gets tons of plastic surgery, endless, also redoing her breasts, trade show 3 weeks away, and getting a $150,000 facelift. By the way, an outspoken Christian always talking about Jesus and God, and I just can't help but feel this behavior is so hypocritical. She got extremely upset when I stood up for myself. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for speaking up, or was I too touchy? I don't think you're the asshole. I also don't think that she was ever your friend.
I totally got lost in that. I'll just admit. So her friend is the 26-year-old having the plastic surgery?
No.
I got...
So she, the person writing it works in consumer goods.
Okay.
Someone gave her the suggestion of working with this one lady on a business. So to me, that's already a business relationship, not a friendship.
Right.
This is actually not at all what I thought was what was happening. I was like, ooh, this might be interesting. I mean, like, this is, or like, not that this isn't interesting. I just mean, like, I thought this was going somewhere like friendship drama, and it's not.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a business thing. You were never friends. So they recommended this lady that's a reality TV star. She sold half the business to a 26-year-old.
Okay.
So the lady she's working with and the 26-year-old that's married to the 60-year-old own the business. But the OP works for the business.
Okay. And
from what I can tell.
Okay. And so the reality star that's part owner in the business blamed her and told her it was her fault the business hasn't done well.
Yeah. I think you need to get out of this.
Just, yeah.
I think you just need to cut ties.
Yeah.
From the way you write too, you don't like these people.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, who could blame you from what you're saying? But there is a little bit of like, I'm not saying that I wouldn't necessarily feel this way too if I was in the OP's shoes. But I can tell there's resentment of, oh, you're rich, you're getting facelifts, you're doing all this and you have all this money to spend and you're not working on the business. I get that, but I can obviously tell you don't like these people. So like if I don't know, I'm confused.
You don't like them, you don't respect them, so don't worry that she blamed you. I mean, unless she had
a business idea and wanted help. I made several suggestions. So she hasn't really gotten paid for anything. They were introduced through a mutual contact because of OP's background in consumer goods. The person had a business idea and wanted help. I made several suggestions, all based on experience. She shot every single one of them down. So really, it sounds like to me the only thing she was going to pay you for was when she asked you to do the trade show. And you gave her the the rate.
Well, I think the OP just needs to move on and not worry about that they are blaming her, unless her beef is because she has this business and maybe they're giving her a bad review, or a bad on something.
Yeah.
But if they're not doing that and you're just...
If you're just like consulting but not even getting like money for it,
just move on.
Yeah, this
Just
isn't a
move
friend.
on.
I don't even know why you wrote it that way, really.
Yeah.
Not to be like...
Yeah.
But as someone said, OP, you are not the asshole. Please reread your post and think about what you'd say to a sibling or close friend in the same situation. Your friend is treating you like you should be a mind-reading servant, and that's really shitty. Definitely not how real friends treat each other. And the OP responded to that, said, thank you. I feel they were trying to get me to jump up and down for them and then make me into a joke and constantly acting better than me because they live a luxury lifestyle. I cannot imagine wanting plastic surgery continually. It seems like a nightmare. Again, I'm kind of like, that's fine. Same. But it's not really, not to like play both sides of it, but it's not really your...
Yeah.
It would be one thing even if these were like your childhood friends and they married into money and they started acting completely different or something.
Right.
But I'm like, these are people you were just introduced to. Like, it doesn't even say a timeline on here, but...
Right. Just move on. Move on.
Someone said, so why are they still in the quote-unquote friends list rather than the ex-friends list?
Right.
And the OP responded, said, yes, not on my friends list in my mind, but wonder if I'm overreacting. Not really. It just sounds like a business venture that didn't go the way you planned and you need to just get out.
Right.
It's actually better that you're not actually friends with these people or else it would have been messier.
Right.
Interesting.
And you don't want to get too involved and not get paid.
Yeah.
If they're saying that you're not doing what they want you to do. And
Weird.
no, I thought that was going the same way you thought, that it was a friend that I have someone in mind, but
Very interesting. Okay. This one may be a little heavy. I don't know. This is in relationship advice and fighting with parents. My parents are forcing me, 15 male, to be on their 41 female and 46 male reality TV show.
ooh.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Don't get children involved in reality TV. My family has a unique dynamic, which my parents have been trying to leverage into a TV contract. I don't want to get into too many details, but think something like 19 Kids and Counting or Sister Wives on TLC. My parents sat us down yesterday and said they were in talks about a show for our family and that all of us kids are expected to participate. I'm not super comfortable with the idea of my parents broadcasting their own lives to the world, but ultimately I can't really stop them. What I'm 100% not okay with, though, is being forced to appear on the show as myself. I'm worried about how it will impact my ability to find a job and a wife. I'm worried about being the subject of scrutiny for millions of strangers. Have you seen some of the judgmental comments on, it's a subreddit called Dugar's Snark? I'm guessing that's is it the Duggars? The Dugar?
I don't remember.
I know what they're talking. You guys are probably like, you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, but I don't remember what it's.
They've been in all these troubles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about whether I'll be able to walk in public without being recognized with anyone. Even if the show is a flop, I'm still second guessing all of my public interactions for years, wondering how many strangers know private details about my life. I'm also worried about my siblings, some who are too young to even understand what's happening. And finally, I know it might sound stupid, but I just don't like the idea of having my 15-year-old self immortalized on TV. I get that. I don't even like looking in the mirror. I definitely don't want to see my face plastered all over TV and the internet. I'm incredibly awkward and hoping that it will get better with age, but that's going to be hard if my present awkward self remains the most public version of myself. I've already told my parents I'm not comfortable appearing on camera, but they said that's unacceptable and that for the show to have its impact, the whole family must be on board. They're threatening to take away many of my privileges, internet, driver's license soon, and a small college fund, among other things, if I don't participate. I can live without these things, but I know if our disagreement continues, they will just take away more things or start punishing me more severely. I'm really not trying to be difficult. I'm just afraid being on the show could come back to haunt me. How can I make my parents understand my side of things?
Boy.
Ooh.
Oh.
This makes me so sad.
It makes me mad. It
First,
makes me mad at those parents.
the first thing I want to point out is for a 15-year-old, you are incredibly emotionally intelligent.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And you say you're awkward and all, but I love that you know yourself. You know the boundaries that you want to set, and you are drawing the line in the sand. I love that for you. And it makes me so sad that your parents can't appreciate how mature that is. Exactly. And how I know I'm like at 15, I don't know if I could have, come to that conclusion myself. Like you wrote this so,
it's written
so self-aware, so well. Like,
does he have any legal recourse?
I don't know as a minor. But I'm like, it also depends on like where you live. It says it's a reality TV show in the US. It doesn't say what state. I mean, I know when it comes to like the internet, there's not a lot of recourse as far as like sharing minors' pictures online and stuff like that, unless it's like sexually explicit. That makes me so sad. And I don't know your family situation, if there's like an aunt or an uncle or grandparent that you could like talk about all of this to and like possibly go live with them so you don't have to be part of this show that apparently is probably going to be, because at this point, from what this sounds like, and if it is like those like 19 Kids and Counting Sister I've showed, then it's going to be in the house, so there's no you not being on camera if you live there.
Right. That's something I've never thought about on those shows like that. I've thought about how it affects the kids, but I've never, there's several now. I think it's the one you were talking about, the Dugards or Duggards, that some of the children that are grown now have really come out against the parents and what they had to go through and all. And, but I never thought about how the children don't really have a say. That's so,
I know that, I know there's been a lot of, like discourse about this with family vlog channels on YouTube specifically, which I totally don't agree with at all. Any of like having that and like your child not having a choice. And that's what this kind of seems like. I feel like I've read a Reddit story about that it was a kid talking about they didn't want to be in their like family's pranks anymore or something. It was similar to this because they had like a successful YouTube channel.
What do you call it when you have child actors and actresses?
There's the fund.
No, but when they like divorce their family, there's a name for it.
You mean when they get what's it called?
I can't remember either. I'm going blank.
Emancipated.
Yeah, emancipated.
Yeah, like
can he do that?
I don't know. I wish you could. Someone said, some comments here. I briefly worked for a reality TV production company and wish I knew more about the contracting side of things, but a boring dead fish of a person doesn't make good TV. If you don't answer questions, don't participate in scripted situations, and generally are as boring as possible, you won't really make it in much of the show. That being said, I definitely think you should talk to as many non-parent adult relatives as possible about these concerns and see if anyone can help you voice your opposition and find a way out of participating, perhaps even with legal representation. And if your voice goes unheard, make it clear to the producers that you don't plan on being a willing participant and stay firm on that. These shows may film in your house, but usually only on certain days, and you could find a way to be out of the house on shoot days. Just because one child isn't interested in participating doesn't mean your parents can't still do the show. Although I agree, it's best for your entire family not to do this.
But you heard what he said, though. They're gonna punish him if he doesn't participate, or if he's, real quiet and doesn't talk. And I mean, that's good advice, except that he's already said that his parents are gonna punish him and take things away, and even threatening his college fund.
I know.
If he doesn't want to participate, that's awful.
Yeah, someone said, I was thinking if you flip off the camera and say, I don't want to be on this fucking show, that would mean they'd have to edit you out for broadcast television. But again, I just feel like his parents would be pissed.
Oh, yeah. They're going to take it out on him.
Plus, editing, it's like someone said, like someone on here was like, I work on a show, and they're like, editing is always a risk. So, like, because that one person was like, oh, you could just be as boring as possible. That doesn't matter. Editing, they can do anything with editing. And in most contracts for reality TV shows, they say they can use any facial expression or anything. They can move it around to manipulate the storyline that they want. All of that.
We know that from personal experience.
Yeah.
That's something that we didn't talk about earlier when we were talking about reality TV, is that it's all in the editing.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said, do you have a different relative you can stay with? Contact a lawyer about this and how you feel exploited by your parents for their benefit. I'd want to get the contract looked at, ensured what you earn goes where they can't touch it. Get an entertainment lawyer. I've seen various other niche reality TV people think the real world, get recognized on job interviews and not get jobs due to being on reality TV. Admittedly, they were not acting very mature on that show.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah, someone said, I think you need to post this on legal advice.
Yeah.
I would like to hope that because this is a 15-year-old and this is going on, that someone with a good heart out there would do some pro bono help here.
That'd be great.
Just because they are a minor and, like, they can't, They
can't pay for a lawyer.
Yeah. And so when it's something like this, I don't know. I'm not seeing any. I was trying to see any updates or other comments. From the OP. Someone said Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne have a third daughter. She didn't want to be on the show, so she wasn't.
Oh.
I didn't even know they had a third daughter.
I didn't either.
Someone said, wow, I never knew this. How great that her choice was successful enough that she remains so obscure. Good for her.
Yeah. See, why can't the parents do that?
Because they're not. The thing is someone said Ozzy isn't just some random family, though. He probably had a bit more say, and like they probably understood it more, like.
Well, he didn't say, or they didn't say, so it could be that they're wanting to, like, it's a dozen. Or
yeah, exactly. I don't know what
they need the numbers.
I don't know. That makes me really sad. There's no update. Yeah, they didn't have any other comments or update. I hope they
can work it out. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is from Relationship Advice as well. I don't know why that other one was from Relationship Advice, because I thought Relationship Advice, the subreddit, was for like specifically like romantic relationships, but I could be wrong.
It could be family.
I've 28 male. Have been offered to join a reality TV show, but I don't know how to tell my girlfriend, 25 female. Okay. So we are still fresh into the relationship, 4 months. Before we met, I applied to the show where it involves building relationships.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. I feel like that's a way to say that it's a dating show, sir.
Yeah.
I signed a confidentiality, so I don't want to go into details. I think it would be a great opportunity and think I could laugh about it when I'm older. So I'm caught up on how I should tell her. I like this girl a lot, and I don't think she'd be happy that I'm even contemplating it. I want to go on the show, but I don't want it to end. Trying to get advice to see if there would be any way to meet in the middle or to invest in one or the other. Might be an opportunity of a lifetime.
That's just a tough decision that's going to have to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the post. They did reply to a lot of several comments here. Someone said, I've known 3 people who did this. They all regret it. And the OP responded, in what way did they regret it? The person said, 2 guys and a girl are the 3 people that I know that went on the shows. One fellow didn't like it because he had no control over how he was presented. Said that simple things like your answers to questions would be edited out and a blank stare put in, so he looked like an idiot.
Yeah.
This guy was a finalist and has good people skills. He said the producers played mind games and you had to navigate it because if you didn't play along with giving them good TV, they would sort of put you in scenarios that were sabotaged. Other guy said all his friends mock him because even though it was a long time ago, they pumped him with alcohol and he ended up being all emotional because other dudes were, but back home it's a huge joke. The woman said she regretted it because when she Googles her name, that's the only thing that comes up, and life was better before that.
See, exactly what we said about reality TV. It's all in the editing, and they do things to...
Someone said, is it a dating show? If it is, then obviously you can't have both a girlfriend and go on the show to enjoy new relationships while your girlfriend sits at home, unless she is on board with the idea of being treated that way. If it's so important for you to go on the show, then talk to her about it, explain to her why it's important to you, and see how it goes. OP responded, yeah, I'm concerned if I tell her that she won't think I'm investing in her, so that can create a stigma between us. Okay, but if you don't tell her, then the stigma is going to be that you lied and went on a dating show.
He's just got to tell her.
Fun fact.
Or decide, make a decision, which is
more important. Like, why are you wanting to go on the show? Is it a stepping stone for you to get on other things, or are you wanting to just go around and make out with a bunch of other girls? Like, is it like Love Island, and you're just wanting to?
Yeah.
Fun fact, I do know specifically of multiple people that have been on shows like Love Island, The Bachelor, and shows like that were in relationships going into it, and they used it strictly as a stepping stone just to get on people's radar, to get followers up, stuff like that. Which I honestly don't know how I feel about that either way. I really don't know. I would have to know more details. But, I mean, to me, it all depends, too, if, like, okay, if it's, like, The Bachelor and the star of The Bachelor knows that and knows that you're just there for that, then maybe it's okay. I don't really know how I feel about any of that. The thing is, no matter what, the biggest thing is your partner okay with it?
Right.
Like, if that's something you want to do and you want to have an open relationship, sure. But again, it goes back to communication. And you're 4 months in. The fact that you're even considering it, to me, makes me think that you're not invested in the relationship. Because why would you want to?
Right.
Because if I got into a relationship and I was only 4 months in, and then this thing that I had applied to, let's say I applied to be on The Bachelor or something, came back and was like, okay, you're in. But I was really in love with this person that I started dating. I'd be like, well, I don't want to do that anymore because I don't want to be away from them for that long either and not being talking to them and stuff. So
it's just a decision he's going to have to make. I don't think there's any getting around it. And he already seems to think that she's not going to be into it. And so
it's like, there's going to be a stigma. Well, there's going to be a stigma if you don't tell her, bro.
Nah.
I don't know.
I don't have any good advice for that, except just you gotta tell her, you gotta make up your mind. Which I don't think there's any compromise.
No,
it doesn't sound like she's gonna be agreeable to it. So you've got to decide which do you want.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Am I the asshole for auditioning for a reality TV show and causing my husband to file for divorce?
Ooh.
So this is taking a step further.
Oh no.
My 44 female husband, 45 male, refused to even communicate about his feelings before he served me with divorce papers over me deciding to audition for a reality TV show that had put out a casting call. We have 5 kids together, 14 female, 13 male, 10 female, 6 female, and 4 male. And I've been together for 15 years, but only married for 5 due to a lot of moving parts about life, including my husband changing an entire career path after our second child was born, us moving cities, and also him going back to school for an MBA getting in the way. I used to be an extra back in the early 2000s. I actually continued to do work in that industry into my 30s and was included in a promotional shoot for a local boutique that was opening a few blocks from our home at the time, a few months after my 10-year-old was born. My husband has changed a lot since our kids were born, and we have been in therapy over our relationship, mostly with his disillusionment apparently over me. Basically, since we entered our mid-30s and he got settled into a career trajectory in banking, he's become allergic to social media and publicity. My husband worked as a VP for a local credit union and is up for senior VP role. We are at a point where we are not having any more children, are probably never moving until we retire, and his career is set. My husband brings home good money, but between the kids' expenses, college funds, our house, and what we paid for various health issues in our family, I just wanted to in some way make a marketable career so we could have nice vacations and other extras without feeling like we should be putting that money away. I finally found a few casting call posts that were not just looking for women 18 to 35, but were accepting women up to 50. I felt like it would be fun since it seemed low budget and didn't seem it would be a show focused on reputation damage. After I brought it up to my husband, we got into an argument over why he gets to go speak at public events about his credit union's investment into community and giving college students career advice in an online panel while all publicity on my end is bad. Finally, he said, "Do what you want, but at least let me have some say." So I've been undergoing the submission process. He then flipped when they began asking about his executive track career, how it strengthens or weakens our relationship, and I mentioned I was proud he's up for a promotion. He got agitated over the fact they wanted to cover the lifestyle his career gives me and the kids and told me it's not worth whatever they'd pay you. He's also mad that I brought up his promotion and place of work when it's publicly searchable. I told him I'm not going to ignore them and be unprofessional, and he asked if this is a hill to die on. He then blindsided me by barely talking to me for 2 days and then serving me divorce papers Friday. I feel this is a major overreaction. My mom is telling me to drop this auditioning for the family, but I don't understand why I need to give up in the face of emotional blackmail.
Oh, wow. So they're on 2 different paths. That's the thing, because he's in this banking type industry that he probably feels like reality TV doesn't go well with that, with his career path, but that's what she knows and likes, evidently. Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. Ooh.
And the thing of it is, if it was, he could be left out of it.
Yeah, but they seem to be really wanting to focus on his career.
Yeah, and so you can't blame him for that. He has the right to say, no, I don't want. Because I mean, we don't know what the reality TV show is. It could damage his career.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking in that last one about how, or not the last one, but in one of those that it has damaged people's career that have been on reality.
Exactly.
And kept them from getting jobs. I can't blame the husband for that. Now, serving with divorce papers without...
That seems... You guys have been together 15 years. I know only married 5, But serving with divorce, I feel like there's more to it.
Well, and I feel like there's some resentment there, maybe on her part, because maybe everything has been about him and his career for a long time now. You know, they didn't get married for a while because he was going back to school or getting an MBA. And then I think, was it in there that they moved because of his career and everything? So.
A lot of people are saying you're the asshole. A lot of people are really rude in the comments. The top comment here is, hey, if you really want to throw away your life for a few fleeting seconds of fame on a second-rate TV show, go ahead. You see the fork in the road. It's not about people seeing things your way either. This is your choice, and it should be easy, but I don't think you fully get it. On the bright side, you can probably get some connections to be placed on a new dating show. You're the asshole. Someone said, this comment right here, I don't really like. Someone said, you haven't made. Why do you want to go on a reality show? Is it not enough that your husband provides well for you and your children? If you don't care, then you just don't care. And then they went on for like 3 more paragraphs. See, my only response to that is, would they have the same response if they were like, I've always wanted a career in this and I want to go back to work? And like she's saying, like, your youngest is 4, you need to just stay home and like realize you have a good life. Okay.
No.
You don't, first of all, you don't know
No.
all the details. Obviously, it's not perfect, because if your life was perfect, I don't think he would be serving you with divorce papers. Like, I feel like there's more to that. Is reality TV, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier. It is like a reality star is like a career now, as much as like we like that or not. I don't know.
Would I choose that as a mother with 5 kids? Absolutely not.
No. But we support women's rights and wrongs. I'm like, would you have the same reaction if she was like, I've always wanted to be a lawyer, and so I'm going back to school to get my law degree?
No.
You'd be like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Like,
but again, the only problem I do have with it is that it sounds like they do want to include the whole family.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that poor kid that's the 15-year-old.
That's true.
Are her kids going to be involved in this?
And like the 4-year-old that has like the 15-year-old said in that other one.
I disagree with
That's true.
Yeah. So
because then you are involving everyone.
Right.
And it's not their decision.
It's one thing if she's going to go on something like Survivor and it's just about her. More power to her. But
actually, I'm changing my mind on this.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, maybe she's not the asshole, but she is the asshole. Because it's not, to me, I don't think you're the asshole because like, oh, you have it made and you're provided for, so you shouldn't want to do something for yourself. I don't think you're the asshole because of that, because you're a human being and you can do something for you. But my issue is, you're right.
And you're jeopardizing his career.
Yeah.
That you have apparently helped him obtain. You know, kudos to her. She has, you know, it sounds like she's been there for him. She's raised the family while he's building this career. But do you want to destroy it now? Because reality TV could, if they're going to bring him into it.
And do the drama and all, and try to have drama. And because he didn't he say in here, like, as long as I'm not, because
I'm not involved in it.
Yeah, I finally he said, do what you want, but at least let me have some say. So I've been undergoing the submission process. He then flipped when they began asking about his executive career strategy, which I get.
Yeah. Because
then it's no longer just your decision. It's affecting his life. And you were saying, well, he's up for a promotion. Well, that's kind of like subjective. Like maybe he's feeling like, okay, his boss is going to give him a promotion, but maybe he doesn't want the whole world to know that, because then his boss will be like, well, now you're not getting that promotion.
Exactly.
And you have 5 kids. Yeah. I want to know that too. Are your kids going to be involved? Because yeah.
Maybe he went about it wrong as far as just handing over divorce papers, but without talking it through. I mean, they're already in counseling, didn't she say?
Yeah, someone said, but he did communicate about his feelings genuinely.
Right.
And in couples counseling, I think OP may have said something about that somewhere. And specifically in regards to the audition. The thing is, you're not seeking a job for yourself. You're bargaining on behalf of a collective unit of 7, one of
Right.
which wants no part of this, either for himself or his 5 children, possibly. You refuse to respect his values around privacy. That's what this boils down to.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he just served the divorce papers. Maybe he's been over this with her, and he's
Yeah.
finished. Done with it.
Someone asked info, what's the show about? Would it be considered embarrassing for his career or for the family or something like that? OP
Yeah.
never
See?
responded.
Yeah.
Love this comment. His reaction is definitely severe, but reality television is typically a dumpster fire.
Oh.
I wouldn't want my private info on the TV either.
Right.
I would drop out and discuss a career path that doesn't put your family in the national spotlight. Yeah, that is the difference. I didn't even think of that. Like you said, if it was one thing where you wanted to do something that was like even if it was like American Idol, you'd always wanted to be a singer and you wanted to jump on American Idol,
Right.
that would be something. But the fact that it sounds like to me you're wanting to go the Real Housewives track and get your whole family involved and you guys just have different values. You either need to find someone that also is down for that, or I don't know.
And it sounds like she's, dabbled in acting. She's done, maybe she needs to go more that direction rather than the reality TV direction.
Yeah.
So it doesn't involve her family or her husband. But I know, too, she may be wanting to do the reality TV because it's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
But not too many reality TV stars move into acting.
No.
They're just become reality TV stars.
Which they make great money at. I mean, I see reality TV stars doing TV spots and commercials all the time and brand spots that I'm sure they get paid a lot for.
Right.
If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. But maybe not involve your children that don't have a say in it, or your husband that it could affect his career.
Agreed.
Yeah. What do you think, Diggle?
What do you think?
Would you do a reality show? You've been on TV.
I was going to say, I've been on a reality TV show.
You've been on TV. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole? It's from the subreddit. Am I the asshole? And this is the one that you probably everyone probably thought was coming. This is the most. There was a lot of these. I picked 2 of these, so we'll go back to back on kind of what the vibe is here. Am I the asshole for feeling like my wife watches too much reality TV? Advice needed. Pretty much the title as written. My wife is constantly watching some trashy ass reality TV show. If it's not Sister Wives, it's Teen Mom or some fucked up cult documentary. Even Dog the Bounty Hunter. Before I go any further, I just want to say, Mom and I, we didn't talk about this much, but we don't watch, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but we haven't been watching like Real Housewives, stuff like that. We're very much about the competition shows.
Yeah.
I have a hard time watching ones that have not a lot of plot. There's no ending in sight, we very much okay, there's a specific competition going in, there's 25 contestants, at the end there's one and a prize,
Well, I tried watching Big Brother because we were watching Traders, and some of these that are on there have been on Big Brother. So
and I loved a lot of the ones.
So I was trying to pick some Big Brother that had some of these that I liked on Traders, and I couldn't do it because, they don't, and maybe too, it's because they're older, because the ones that we.
Oh, because you're talking about Big Brother, which I have a lot of friends that love Big Brother, and it's so funny to me though because there's like 33 to 40 episodes a season, and like it may take like 3 or 4 episodes before anyone gets cut.
Right.
And I have like a short attention span.
Well, and these are older, so I don't know. I haven't tried watching any of the newer ones, but they're not competing for anything. It's just.
Well, Big Brother, they're competing. I mean, at the end, the last person, you win money.
No, but I mean, it's just day to day. Like we're watching them sit around the pool and talk about each other, and
yeah.
There's just not anything really going on, like a competition to try to add money to the pot and that sort of thing.
Yeah, like the only one that I think I would kind of want to see that's not a competition show, because I know a lot of people like Real Housewives, Vanderpump, like Summer House, all of those. The only one that I kind of want to watch just because I absolutely love one of the people on it, because she was my favorite person on the first season of Traitors, is Below Deck. I would kind of like to see Below Deck because Kate from season 1 Traitors is just one of my favorite people on the planet right now. And she was on Below Deck, but I looked at it and it's kind of like Summer House or something. It's like on a yacht. There's no like competition to it. It's very much just like all about the drama and you know. So
I would like to see an episode of that because it's interesting to me because
like she was like a stewardess, like she's the worker on
It's like the workers and then the people that are on the yacht.
Yeah.
So I would really
like maybe the workers are talking trash about all these rich people on a yacht.
Maybe
that sounds fun.
That's what I'm curious about because that's an interesting premise.
And I will say we watch a lot of documentaries on things. I cannot watch. I'm sorry I'm not big on like the Teen Mom, the 17,000 children, the Sister Wives. Like that's not my vibe. No shame if that is your vibe, and no judgment if that's you on one of those shows, but it's just not my thing.
I have some friends that love Survivor and love Big Brother, but but
that's fine.
Yeah,
it's a competition.
Yeah,
I have trouble with the ones that aren't.
Oh,
is what I'm saying.
Like the family. Well, that's just like we have family that loved the Kardashians, and I've never been able to get into that at all.
Yeah, not even before all the controversy of Kim and Kanye, but even before that, I've never been a Kardashian
back when
fan.
the Kardashians first came out.
Yeah,
I never.
Mm-mm.
But I like the competition ones.
Yeah, those are fun.
And I know that I'm sure too, just like we've talked about, there's producers, and we've talked about like on Traitors. They go into breakfast every morning and they show their faces and their reactions.
Totally.
And we know that there's been a producer that said, okay, give me this face. Give me a surprise face.
Everyone give me a surprise face. Everyone give me the,
And then they pick and choose the one they edit in for you to see.
I know from personal experience.
Yes.
That has happened to me. Things that were said and done that were put in completely different contexts. Anyway, so back to this. Feeling like my wife watches too much reality TV. So anyways, if it's not Sister Wives, it's Teen Mom or some fucked up cult documentary. Hey, sometimes a good fucked up cult documentary is fun. Sorry.
I love documentaries.
Especially about cults. No.
True crime or my...
Yeah, true crime. Even Dog the Bounty Hunter. She even listens to podcasts about it, and because she doesn't like wearing headphones, I guess I am too. It feels like a constant barrage of shitty people doing shitty things with some fucked up premise. Yet when I try to put on headphones or something, she gets notably disappointed that I don't want to hear the latest awful thing that happened in whatever show strikes her fancy. The worst part is she often falls asleep to these things. And while she is off in dreamland, I have to sit there and be subjected to hours of this schlock because it's damn near impossible for me to fall asleep with the TV on. Yet if I turn it off, all of a sudden she's wide awake talking about how she was just watching that. I love my wife dearly, but I've reached a point where I'm just over it. I don't care about the latest thing that happened on Temptation Island. The world is awful enough as it is, and I am tired. Okay, so this sounds like a very, very, very heightened version of you and Dad a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a very heightened version, because I know my dad cannot stand reality TV.
Well, wait a minute.
I was going to say, I was about to say that, yeah.
He says he can't, but we kind of have him hooked on Traders.
Oh, he is so hooked on Trader and Deal or No Deal Island. He was so into that.
Yes. And he'll even say, like, I'll turn it on or something, and he'll go, or he'll sit down to watch TV, and he'll say, man, I better find something faster. I'm going to have to be watching Traders.
Mm-hmm. But too, though, like, he'll be like, no, it's fine. Like, he'll go to bed or whatever, and we'll be like, do you want us to stop it? And he'll be like, no, it's fine. Just keep watching it. And then, like, the next day, like, he'll, like, it'll be, like, after work or something, and he'll come in, and he'll go, like, so who got kicked off last night?
Yeah. He is so into
He'll be like,
it.
wait a minute. Or, like, we'll be watching it or something the next day, and we'll be like, wait, did so-and-so get kicked off?
Yeah.
They were my favorite.
He's into it. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Also, he absolutely he was really into the Traders because he kind of, I think he kind of likes to hate watch it.
Yeah.
Because, like, there are people, he's like, I can't stand them. He's like, I want them, they need to be voted off right now. And then he starts talking about what he would do in this situation. And, like, oh, I could do it. It's just a game. I could be a traitor. Like, it's funny. But also, you are the one that will fall asleep.
I fall asleep.
And then when it gets turned off, you'll be like, wait, I was watching that.
He's learned, though. He's learned. With me, I fall asleep if the TV goes off. So if he just will quickly change it to something else, I'll stay asleep.
Yeah, there's a trick to it.
There is a trick.
Top comment on here said, not the asshole. Sounds like you're more upset about her just being inconsiderate, keeping the TV on at night and not using headphones. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And to me, there's always like a balance of, like, I don't know, like, if she really loves reality TV, then be like, okay, tonight we'll watch one of your shows, tomorrow, because, like, I know that's what, like, you and Dad do very much.
Very much.
It'll be like, tonight we're gonna watch, like, Joe loves this, so we're gonna watch this, and then my dad will be like, can we watch an action movie tonight? Because I need some action, you know,
he's very much into action, and sometimes I like to just see a good rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
And
he'll watch it. Yeah,
he'll watch it with me, and he likes it. But we agree. It's just about a balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that she wants him to love it because she loves it. But sometimes it's okay for you not to like the same things.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's
but
the thing of her getting like upset that you're not involved.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
Because it sounds like to me almost, and like maybe I'm wrong, but from the way that the OP wrote this, it sounds like to me it's like she's watching it, and if she's not watching it, she's playing a podcast about it, and if she's not playing a podcast about it, she's listening to something else. It's like, I can see that being too much for anyone.
Yeah.
No matter if it was reality TV or any show, if you're spending that much time on it.
Right.
Someone said, my husband works really hard and relaxes by watching TV also. Love Island is the worst, in addition to cooking shows, House Hunters, and shows like Below Deck. Me, I want a plot. That said, we talked, and he has picked a few reality shows that I am okay with, but to watch when I'm around and pick a plot show he likes. So we are both getting something we want. He and I watch the stuff the other doesn't like when the other is busy elsewhere. Is there anything she watches that is less painful for you and vice versa? My husband just says his brain is fried and it helps him relax. Another comment.
Yeah. See, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Just
communication
and being considerate of the other.
Someone said, not the asshole. That sounds horrible. Now I'll admit on occasion I'll dip into one of those shows as a guilty pleasure, but I can't imagine a 24/7 life filled with it.
No.
I don't even watch TV that much. Not in any kind of snooty, oh, we don't have TV in our home kind of way, though. Most of my electronic entertainment is gaming or scrolling through Reddit with all of you fine people. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. Those shows are so negative and the people are, well, they're scripted. She knows that, right? So they all just have this odd note to them. I never could stand their predecessors, such as Jerry Springer. You can't even tell what's going on because everyone's just yelling. The reality shows are almost the same because it seems that the conflicts just come out of nowhere. No one acts like an adult about it. It's a confusing mess of why is she so upset that Tiffany said blah, blah, blah. The only ones I like are where there's a constructive path and an actual end product like Project Runway. Yeah, okay. Or a forensic documentary where they at least catch the bad guy. Still too much drama sometimes for no reason, but at least in shows like Project Runway, it makes sense. I don't know what the answer is, but this is clearly a problem. Does she have a job? Is she a stay-at-home parent or wife? Maybe she's feeling as if her life is boring. Can you try to get some fun activities into your lives? Have you talked to her about it at all? About how much it negatively is affecting you and your marriage? It's time. It's past time.
Yeah.
And
good advice.
OP responded and said, thank you for the advice. She works full time, but there's got to be something I can do to make her feel like our lives are more fun or interesting.
Yeah. Good advice.
Someone did say there was the OP was replying to a now deleted comment that said, I actually do enjoy a lot of the competition shows we've watched together, like Hell's Kitchen and other stuff in that vein. It's the stuff that feels exploitative that really bothers me. So they are trying.
Yeah.
They also responded to another deleted comment saying, believe it or not, I actually used to work on the production crew for one of these shows myself, which may influence a lot of my feelings regarding it.
Oh.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I think that's why for so long I was so against watching reality TV myself.
Exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just need to communicate. I know Dad's that way too about documentaries. He's always like, they could wrap this up in one episode and they've dragged it out for 4.
Exactly.
Because it's got to be drama and they got to talk to the best friend's sister, cousin once removed that really had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. And there's like a tiny little update in the comments. So it comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not wanting to watch RuPaul's Drag Race with my girlfriend? I hope it's not because they don't like drag queens.
I do too.
Because if so, get out of here.
Yeah.
No. I hope it's just because they don't like reality TV. My male 24 girlfriend, female 24, got home from her friend's house and asked me to put on RuPaul's Drag Race. I told her that I didn't really want to watch it because it's just not my form of entertainment. Even though I suggested that we could watch one of the shows that we're already in the middle of and that she can catch up tomorrow, it turned into a huge argument that I wasn't expecting at all. As you'll see, she repeatedly put words in my mouth and said, so you don't think drag is a legitimate form of entertainment? I quickly said how I never said that. It's just not my form of entertainment. Then she said something about it being transphobic, and that's where I really got lost. I told her that I still wouldn't like the show even if it was all straight people. It has nothing to do with me disliking or disapproving a drag. She then told me people can't be straight phobic, and while I sort of see where she was coming from, I disagreed with her. There are certainly people who dislike straight people because of their sexual orientation, and I don't see how that's debatable. This is where it gets seriously interesting. She then asked if I believe in reverse racism, which is something I had never heard of before. I told her that I believe any discrimination towards any person because of their skin color or ethnicity is racism. That includes all people, white people, black people, Asian people, etc. I also believe that any discrimination towards anybody for their gender identity, sexuality is inherently sexism, transphobia, homophobia. It ended with her walking around in circles, waving her hand, saying, I can't. And I told her that I was just going to leave. Disclaimer, I am a far left progressive. I voted for Bernie. I believe in equal rights for equal people, and the only thing I judge anybody on is their character. I see arguments like these continuing the divide amongst the world. I don't feel any guilt in saying that I shouldn't be discriminated for being straight or white. Judging people based on race, religion, gender identity, or sexuality is wrong. Am I the asshole? Okay, this got a lot heavier than I thought it was going to get. First of all, I'm just going to say it because when he started saying about the straight thing, I literally thought in my head, well, that's like saying that reverse racism is real. I don't think reverse racism is real. I'm sorry.
No.
I don't think, like, there is white privilege and reverse racism is not really a thing.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because, like, white people haven't been persecuted against.
No.
So there can't be racism towards that. Like, there is just, because of how the system has worked for centuries, you know, for years in our country, reverse racism really is not a thing, in my opinion. I'll just say that. I also don't really think that, like, straight phobia is a thing. Like, I don't know, maybe, like, I don't know. I'd rather be in a room with gay guys than straight men, probably. So maybe I'm straight phobic. I don't know. I feel safer with a gay man. But that all being said, I don't know if you're the asshole for not wanting to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Like I said, this got a lot heavier than I thought it was going.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to go into all of that. I can see my brain. I can see me arguing with someone about that. Like, if I'm in a mood, I could see myself going, so you don't like trans people? You don't like drag, you know, like, you don't like drag? Like, if someone didn't want to watch RuPaul's Drag Race with me, like, I can see, like, kind of jokingly doing it and then going into a conversation about it, maybe. But
I think the problem is, though, she wasn't wanting to discuss it. She just...
No, but she's the one that, the girlfriend is the one that got into it. The girlfriend is the one that told him, so you don't think drag is a legitimate form of entertainment?
I know, but she wasn't willing to listen to him. I mean, he says he's far left and progressive, and...
That's true.
She
It
was
sounded like
not-
she was almost trying to pick a fight, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me, because he doesn't seem like to me that he...
It's hard because I always want to take the woman's side.
I know.
But, like, maybe. Because, like, on one hand, I'm like, well, is he, like, a performative, far leftist? But...
He could be, but if we take him at his word...
Yeah, but if we are going by what he said, then, yeah, she was getting a little bit... Because from what it sounds like with this, it doesn't seem like he... did anything that should have made her feel like, and it doesn't sound like he's ever done anything. It doesn't sound like how long they've been together, and he doesn't say how long they've been together or anything, but it doesn't seem like there should be anything that...
I mean, if that's not his form of entertainment, it's not his form of entertainment. That doesn't mean, he says he's not transphobic. He's, he just doesn't like, it's like not liking reality TV.
Yeah.
I think he has a right to his opinion.
Someone said, not the asshole. I love RuPaul's Drag
Right.
Race, and even I sometimes am just not interested in watching it. I think she was looking for an argument, unfortunately. Everyone has a different taste in shows. Someone who loves New Girl, Gilmore Girls, and Grey's Anatomy is likely not interested in CSI, Dexter, or Top Gear. You didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
And OP said, it was just wild how it completely devolved. I don't necessarily agree with the comment that if you like those shows, you don't like the other shows.
Right.
I do agree with the fact that sometimes you're just not in the mood for it.
Right.
There's a lot of times where, like, dad will be like, hey, do you want to watch this movie? And I'm like, I'm not in the mood. Dad has been wanting us to watch The Last of Us, and I'm like, I'm not in the right headspace to watch
Right.
The Last of Us
Right
now. And it just depends on what mood I'm in,
Right. No, I don't think he's the asshole, because I think he had a right to say it doesn't sound like it's because he's doesn't like drag or
Someone's
anything else. I think
I can kind of see this. Someone said, not the asshole. Sorry, man, but your girlfriend sounds like a wannabe woke person.
Oh.
I wouldn't put up with it.
She's the one being performative.
Yeah, like she's just
Right.
wanting to be like, oh, so you're being sexist?
Right.
Oh, so you're doing this? Like trying to
Right.
poke holes in his argument.
Right.
Which I can see that because there are a lot of people like
Right.
that, like on the internet, especially like, oh, so you don't like women because you don't like that, you know,
Right.
like.
Exactly. I think that's probably.
It does kind of feel that
good,
way.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's the whole thing about, there's the whole debate about, is there reverse racism or not? And it sounds like they don't agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's an asshole.
I think it's also weird that it went there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
They're talking about Drag Race and all of a sudden it's reverse racism.
Right.
But yeah, I think it did just blow up. Like it was sounding like she was trying to get into an argument.
I think so too.
Someone said, not the asshole, not every show is for everyone. That's like saying if you think Master Chef sounds interesting and you have no desire to watch it, you hate food and want people to starve. I also think the show sounds dumb and have no interest in giving it a try. Nothing to do with trans people or drag. It just seems lame. Your girlfriend's reaction was weird. Okay, well, you don't have to call somebody's thing lame. Like, just because it's not your cup of tea doesn't mean it's lame. But anyway. The OP said, I don't want to watch America's Next Top Model either. I hate to straw man, but by her logic, that would make me sexist. Which maybe. Someone said, not the asshole, but your girlfriend seems a little nuts. Just wants to argue until you agree with whatever she says. You're allowed to not want to watch Drag Race if you don't like it. Doesn't make you transphobic or anything phobic. I don't like that they're calling her nuts.
Yeah.
I feel like she was trying to pick an argument, but
But we're seeing one piece of their life together. Is this something she does all
about
the
everything?
Time? Was she, like you said, in a bad mood that day? And just
because I've done that when I'm in a bad mood and I want to pick an argument.
That.
Yeah,
right. We're both of us are bad about doing that, and so it's hard to say with one Reddit post, one event in their life. Yeah. Could have been a fluke.
Well, here's kind of
that argumentative.
The kind of the mini update in response to that comment. The OP said, I mean, power to the drag queens and F. DeSantis. I think he's a pig. I guess this was around the time that they were doing all that stuff in Florida with drag queens and reading and all. Yeah. Right. So I agree with him with that. The OP said, this was seriously out of nowhere, and things have been so good with her, too. I think I did the right thing by stating why I disagree with her views and then leaving when she refused to even listen. I'm about unity, and that goes all ways. Do some targeted groups get hit by society harder? I mean, duh, of course they do. Nobody is arguing that. But that doesn't mean it's acceptable to reciprocate the hate. It's just completely transgressive. I don't know what's next, but I'm not taking anything less than an apology for this one, if that. There's not really any... I'm not seeing any...
Update?
Yeah, any update of, like, if they're still together.
Yeah.
Someone said, not the asshole, but I would have quickly steered the conversation onto those specific aspects of the show you didn't want to see, like variety, reality, lip syncing, stuff like that. I don't know why or how the conversation became dominated by the reason she assumed. She must have seen your willingness to engage with her on that topic as an admission of guilt, which is kind of weird but preventable.
Yeah.
And the OP said, I did. Then she came back from the other room and made the transphobic comment. Okay, so it does sound like she was trying to pick a fight. Someone said, there is quite a gap between I don't find that entertaining and drag is not a valued art form, not the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that I don't know if they're still together or what happened with that. There was no update besides that, but yeah, a little weird. Kind of went far. I feel like that's something a lot of people do online is, you say one thing, so it's like, oh, you must hate this, like, I know, like, being vegan, a lot of times people will be like, if I'm like, oh, I'm eating a burger, they're like, is it not vegan? It's like very like jump on. It's like, no, but I don't have to say vegan every time. Like, You know, just because I like something or don't like something, or, you know, if I like a post of someone talking about their favorite food and how it makes them feel, but it's not vegan, that doesn't mean that I'm like perpetuating that. You know, it's
Right.
like, it's all very, it is kind of performative wokeness to like argue it, like nitpicky, like, so you don't like drag
Right.
because you don't want to watch this show with me. You don't
Yeah.
like women. You
Yeah.
don't like,
Yeah.
it is very trying to like catch you in a trap,
Right.
which is not nice.
Right.
But
well, we don't have an update. Maybe she came back the next day and said, "I'm so sorry. I
Yeah.
was in a bad mood." I always want to think the best.
that's what I learned to think. Yeah. So that's our reality TV. Did those people need a reality check? Some of them did.
Yeah.
Is reality TV real? Maybe not.
Some of it is.
Yeah. Comment down
Parts
below.
of it
Comment
all.
down below for us your favorite reality TV show. What is your guilty pleasure? I loved one of my friends the other day. I'm gonna call her out. Abby, my friend Abby, who's on the Barely D&D podcast with us the other day, said, told me the other day. She said, I try not to have. We were talking about like buying a coffee for ourselves or whatever, and she said it's one of my few guilty pleasures. And she said, I really try not to consider any of my pleasures in life guilty, because you shouldn't feel guilty about the things you enjoy. And I loved saying that, but
Aw.
she said, I do have a few, and one is like buying coffee all the time. And I think one of my few is indulging in just like mass amounts of reality TV show competitions. But yeah, you shouldn't, in reality, you shouldn't feel guilty about something that brings you a little bit of joy, especially in today's climate. If it brings you joy, man, hold on to that.
Well, and my thing with the reality TV is have had a peek into reality TV because you were on American Idol, and I know parts of it are real and parts of it are not. But that's kind of what we get into about is we're like,
oh,
okay,
how'd they edit that?
how did they edit that? Did they make her say that, or did a producer push her into saying that, or
Or that reaction, I bet it was edited in.
Yeah. So that's kind of the fun part of it for us. We don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
I say that, and then sometimes we do forget, because we were talking about the end of
Things
season
make us
2, and we
mad.
hated the ending, and we're like, because we were really mad at one of the people.
One of the contestants.
We felt like she was very unfair to another contestant, but we don't know how it was edited.
Yeah, we were like, there could have been so much more that was filmed, that was edited out, that made it make more sense,
Right, exactly.
So you're only seeing like an hour cut, right? An hour-long episode of like probably like 30 hours of footage.
Right.
So, it's all in the editing.
Enjoy reality TV, but just realize it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah. What's the same? To me, you have to look at it as the same as a TV show. You're
Right.
not going to watch Law and Order and be like, I can't believe they did that. And you can do
Right.
that and appreciate like, okay, it's not real though.
Right.
Right. So
Any sitcom or anything, it's fiction. So
anyway, let us know your favorite reality TV show below. Thank you guys for listening, for watching.
thank you.
And for diving into the dumpster fire that is reality TV with us today. We'll be back next week with a new topic. Let us know below if there's any subreddits or themes you'd like us to dive into more.
Speaking of dumpster diving, we have to show our.
Oh yeah. I have dumpster diving earrings, or little dumpster fire earrings that I forgot that I bought on Depop recently. Little dumpster diving earrings. I don't know if you can see them right now in the camera actually, but I think you can. And
I have dumpster fire socks.
Yeah, so we got all of our dumpster fire stuff going on. So, and we will see you in the next one.
All right.